On this week's show, we covered girls soccer, varsity volleyball, and the boys sectional soccer match on Tuesday versus Chatham. All that and more on This Week in SCC Sports.
I'm gonna fight 'em all. A seven-nation army couldn't hold me back. They're gonna rip it off, taking their time right behind my back.
Welcome to This Week in SCC Sports. I'm your host, the voice of the Saints, Brandon Karam, SCC class of 2020. This week we start with girls soccer. On Monday, the girls took on Greenwich at the Chaz Dake Field. The girls jumped out to an early lead thanks to a Megan Schmidt free kick. Greenwich responded to make it 1-1 at halftime. In the second half, Lauren Mayer scored her 28th and final goal of the year to give the girls a 2-1 win. Congratulations to the girls on an outstanding season. On Tuesday, the boys varsity soccer team traveled to Chatham in sectional play. Chatham opened up the scoring in the early part of the first half. The boys came back and evened the score on an unassisted Dante Marin goal. The score stayed tied 1-1 going into halftime. Early in the second half, Chatham scored twice to make it 3-1, then added on two more goals later in the half to make the final score 5-1. The boys played hard all season. Thank you for your effort. On Wednesday, the varsity volleyball team took on Berlin at the Broadway gym. The girls dominated, winning the first two sets 25-3 and then the third set 25-7 to improve to 15-0. Here's Elise Browell.
I think if we come together, we're going to do really, really great. I think this season has been awesome, and when we are together and when we love each other so much, like the chemistry is awesome. And so when we come together, it's definitely, we're going to play great, I think.
On Friday, the varsity volleyball team had its annual senior night and picked up the 3-0 victory to stay undefeated at 16-0 and to win the Wasserman League Championship for their second year in a row. The girls are now preparing for sectionals. After the break, our talk with cross-country seniors, but first, here's what's on tap for this week. Welcome back to This Week in SCC Sports. This week's guests are cross-country seniors Mikey Halligan, Katie West, Kevin Cronin, and JP Tagliafiero. First, we're going to just ask you some of the memories you've had from being on the cross-country team.
I remember the first day I ever ran cross-country for this team. We were at the warming hut at SPAC, and my dad came up to Kevin and he's like, "What grade are you in?" And Kevin says 7th, and he's like, "All right, this is my son Mike. Go run with him and be best friends." So ever since then, that's pretty much how it became now. So that was pretty exciting. And yeah.
Katie?
I just have a lot of fun memories with all the girls and running and goofing off. One of my favorites is always the bus ride after the races. We all sing and have fun.
Kevin?
Yeah, I think my best memory was when I first met Mikey that first day when his dad came up to me and kind of forced his friendship down our throat. But looking back, I'm actually really glad that happened because Mikey's been there with me every step of the way through this whole journey. It's been pretty cool.
And JP?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like me and Mike are always the ones like running side by side. There's a lot of instances where like we'll see like a squirrel and one time it spazzed out on a fence and he pushed me right into it. Same with bees and all this. So, I mean, me and Mike are usually always together and it's led to some pretty funny stories. It's fun.
We will see you next week on YouTube, so stay tuned.
If you scream, they'll come towards you. The opposite is in hunting. They'll go away from you. So you can't be too loud. But you gotta say what you want.
Ryan, Wednesday with him.